But and Abdul Carter might be great, and he probably is look, he's the best prospect of all the pass rushers. I won't say he'll be the best pass rusher. You never really know. Like that, and you could tell there's going to be a lot more of Caleb under center, Yerk. That's one thing that he hasn't done a lot in his career going back to high school, but he better be comfortable with it.
Good.
Because Ben Johnson likes it. They run a lot out of under center formations. They run a lot of their play action from out under center, obviously, and he loves play action. So probably one thing they work on in the spring, like you say, this is the time to do it, right? Not training camp. You do it now in the spring.
That's right.
So get him comfortable with
that way you get the training camp. You already have it.
Right.
That way you can go ahead during training camp, get it all done, not have any excuses.
So get comfortable with it. Learn the footwork, whatever's necessary of that. Lots of repetitive snaps between he and his center. Just getting comfortable to being under center because he hasn't done a whole heck of a lot of it throughout the course of his career. A new PFF mock draft is out, Yerk. And, these get a little crazy. I get what these guys are trying to do, right? How many mock drafts can you do for crying out loud? And you're trying to keep it fresh and interesting.
Version 9.0.
Yeah. But this one is like, where's this coming from? At 1, the Tennessee Titans grab Cam Ward, the quarterback out of Miami. That's not too much of a shocker.
Perfect.
Here we go. The Bears trade up to 2. Trade, Chicago Bears. The Bears receive pick 2 from the Cleveland Browns in exchange for pick 10, 39, 148, and next year's first rounder to draft Abdul Carter. I say no thank you. I do not think the Bears are in a position to be giving up picks 10. Now, granted, they get the second pick, but to give up pick 39, pick 148, and a first-rounder next year in a season in which their win total is still, remember, only 8.5. They're not winning the Super Bowl next year. This is not the 32nd pick we're talking about. I say no thank you. What say you?
I say no thank you.
At least they're not drafting a running back there, but and Abdul Carter might be great, and he probably is look, he's the best prospect of all the pass rushers. I won't say he'll be the best pass rusher. You never really know. But you know what's so crazy about this little deal they have?
What's that?
At 10, with the Bears pick, the Browns, who've moved back and now have acquired 39, 148, and a first-rounder next year.
What do they take?
Mike Green out of Marshall, who very well could be, when it's all said and done,
good,
the best pass rusher in this class. I'm just saying it's possible. Now, I know he comes with some character questions that I'm sure that teams will take very seriously. And he played at a smaller school against maybe some lesser competition. Now, he wrecked that competition, in fairness. It's not like he was playing lesser competition and there aren't some tremendous numbers to back it up. They couldn't block him. He destroyed virtually everybody they played. And even in some games against the better teams that they did play, you see Mike Green pop. Does have some character questions. I understand that. But that's the real kick in the you-know-what, if you ask me. They move back, add 3 picks, including I guess they add 2 picks, including a first-rounder next year and a very high second-round pick this year. And they get an edge rusher that might be dominant someday.
Which, if you had to guess, would probably be no worse than 16 or 17 next year. It wouldn't be worse than 16 or 17 next year.
Worse
if you're at 8 or 9 picks.
Higher. That's what you mean, yeah.
If you win 8 or 9 games,
right,
you'd be back around picks 18.
Yes.
17,
16 to 20,
right,
somewhere
in there.
Yeah. Not for me. I'll pass. You guys, I know, Adam, I know you like Abdul Carter.
I wouldn't say 20 because you'd be in the playoffs at 20.
That's a good point. You'd be in the playoffs. That's a very good point.
Yeah, that's why
Probably
I stopped at 18.
16 to 19, something like that.
16 to 18.
Yeah, 16 to 18. What?
14
yeah,
teams
that's right. 14
it.
teams. I forgot. That's right.
So the 19th team is the lead.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that's why I keep it under 18.
What do you guys say? I know you like Abdul Carter.
I like Abdul Carter is an amazing player, but astaghfirullah, no, I'm not doing that.
Does that mean you're passing on grass?
Yeah,
I pass on grass all the time.
I'm not going to do that.
No, I'm not either.
That's way too much.
I'm not even like, I didn't even think for 2 seconds about it's kind of interesting. I'd be like, no.
Like,
sorry. Nope.
If you could move down or move up to like 5 and get him, maybe. I don't want to give up a future first. So if
And I
it's
think you kind of have to if you're going from 10 to 2, right?
yeah, you have to. If you're going 10 to 5
Nah,
or 10
then
to
you
6,
wouldn't, yeah.
you wouldn't have to. So then I would be more willing to do something like that. But I don't want to give up a future first.
No, I'm not in the business to do that. I don't think they should be. Chris? Yeah or nay?
I was cutting your podcast. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
He's cutting it.
Well, I wasn't looking to chime in. So, it's move up for Abdul Carter. What spot?
I mean this very lovingly. Yurko answers questions like this all the time when he's not listening. So please
I need a little more background. Sure.
He's like Barkley. That was great. He goes, I'll be honest, I wasn't watching that game.
No, I was cutting the final word. Yurko had a fantastic. If you guys want a preview of the final word, I can give you that. Yurko's going to have that later. So he's cutting that in the podcast.
No. So
I know you guys are talking about PFF draft.
Yeah.
I don't know the specifics.
The crux is 10 to 2.
10 to 2.
For the 10th pick, for the 39th pick, for 148 in the first rounder next year.
For Abdul Carter.
To go up to get Abdul Carter. Carmen's argument is that in this mock, Mike Green then goes to the Cleveland Browns at 10. He won't do it. I said, I don't really like that trade, that scenario, that as it's painted out. Abdallah, I said, agrees with us. I believe he agrees with us as he was talking.
Yeah, I'm not moving up.
Not moving, right?
I'm not moving up
Too
like
much,
that.
right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I gave you the summation.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and he
sorry, was
And he
multitasking.
processed it quickly. I think we all had the
Yeah, I'm not moving up like that.
We all had the same reaction quickly.
Yeah.
Like, no, not doing it. I'll pass.
And as long as you got me as the final word, you're an all-star in my book.
You're locked in.
Yeah, I love it.
So their latest mock has Cam Ward going 1. The Bears trade up to 2 to take Abdul Carter. The Giants grab Travis Hunter at 3. The Patriots take Will Campbell at 4. The Jags take Mason Graham at 5. The Raiders take Ashton Genty at 6. Armand Membo goes 7 to the Jets. Tet McMillan goes 8 to the Panthers. Jihad Campbell from Alabama goes to New Orleans. That would make some sense at 9. And then the Browns, with the Bears' 10th pick, take Mike Green, like I said, out of Marshall. I believe in Shea Norling's mock draft today on the Cap and Hood Show, he had the Bears staying at 10, but drafting Tyler Warren. Not saying that that's what he would do, that's what his mock has on the intel that he's gathered, that the Bears take Ty Warren. And I'm not so sure about that. We talked about it last week. Yurko watched some tape. Yurko's conclusion was pretty much consistent with Waddle's conclusion of watching tape of Ty Warren. Good. Probably not a tight end you take in the top 10.
I think Tommy and I both said it.
Kind of like Cole Kmet.
Kind of like Cole Kmet. I felt he was a taller Cole Kmet. You guys keep telling me that Cole's 6'6". I'm like, all right, I'll take your word for it.
I think, well, I don't think I said that, but I think that, I think that's about right. They're pretty much close, maybe splitting hairs by an inch or so, which an inch can make a big difference. I understand. Let's go to Adam, who's got a draft question in Phoenix. What's up, Adam?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Just, obviously we've all been looking at a lot of mock drafts. We've seen some with the Bears taking Will Campbell at 10, some others with the Bears taking Mason Graham at 10. Just wanted to get your thoughts. If they both happen to be there at 10, what would you guys want to do? What would you guys want to see?
Good question.
Who and who? Mason
Thanks.
Graham and
Mason
who?
Graham, he's saying Campbell and Graham. Good question, Adam. At 10. That's a good question.
I'd take Will Campbell.
I think I would too.
I'd take the offensive lineman. I mean, I like Mason Graham.
I do too.
And Mason Graham at that point, I think, is falling more than anybody else. He's falling more than Will Campbell. I think Will Campbell's like projected to go 7 or 8 or, somewhere in there.
I've seen a wide range for both those guys. But I'm with you. Like, who's the safer pick if there's such a thing? The only thing that made me think about Graham for a second is, like, is that slightly safer? Like, is he going to be more of a put him in and he's going to be a force and he'll contribute right away?
Will he be Cortez Kennedy? Oh. Will he be Warren Sapp?
That's tough to say, man. Jeez.
Because when you're taking somebody
at 10,
well, they should have been in the top 5. I thought you'd have to move up for Mason Graham. He's one of those 10 to 6 guys. But they say he's not making it past Jacksonville.
Yeah,
so
that's.
We'll see. Who's they? The pundits.
Who's they? The pundits.
The pundits.
That's this latest mock here from PFF that I was just reading you. It's Graham off the board at 5 to the Jaguars. I think I'll ride with Yurko on that one. I think I would go Campbell. I think if Campbell's there, I think I've been pretty consistent. I think you're right. His name down, you turn it in, you don't think too much about it. I think it's
Yep.
almost that simple.
I concur.
With almost any other player that's on the board. That's kind of the way I'm thinking. Rich is in Tri-City, Washington. What's up, Rich?
How you doing, guys? Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
You guys are my favorite show. If they ever take you off the air, I'm going to chuck my stereo out the window.
Sounds good. We'll buy you a new one after you do that. That's
Good
all
plan
good.
for it.